Before the video starts, sorry if I sound kind of crappy because I am sick. So sorry about that. Also, I know most people just watch videos in the background nowadays when it's just talking, but just in case you're not, just a seizure warning because the game I'm playing in the background, Mega Man: The Power Battle, is very very colorful. Especially with the enemy transitions, it gets really flashy. So yeah, if you got epilepsy, watch out. Now onto the video. It's just so much slop on YouTube and just about everywhere nowadays. And it's not like I don't understand why it's there, or at least the biggest reason I see. Because, of course, there's still people who actually want to make things a certain way and make it that way. But I think there's a big problem with a lot of people seeing the whole, I hate to call it content, but, the content creation, they see it as an escape from, the menial, regular job kind of work. I mean, it's not like I don't see the appeal, and even in some ways, I'm kind of contributing to that too, right? Like I'm making videos here, just posting them, even though they're not that popular, but I'm still kind of doing the same thing. But I feel like, with the way things are, where everyone's desperate to escape and making all this stuff, I think it's kind of contributed to everything becoming kind of a big colorless goo, you know what I mean? Like there's just no bite to anything anymore, and there's no real uniqueness. And like the new YouTube rules, for example, you know how everyone's all like, "Oh, well, you can't curse in the first few seconds or whatever. You can't talk about this, can't talk about that. You can't show like gore or anything. Not that I want to see gore, but you know what I mean. Like the freedom of expression of it all is what I care about, right? And a lot of that is just gone right now. And so, you have all these people following the same rules and making videos with the same, they're not all the same, but they got like the same few rules they follow. And it leads to them becoming a lot less unique. So, in the end they kind of appeal to the lowest common denominator. And I'm not saying that like an insult. I'm saying, oh, they appeal to stupid people. I'm not saying that. I'm saying they just appeal to the average person. And that's not a bad thing. But it really cuts down on the niche, like no one with a niche interest. Well, I shouldn't say no one, but it's much harder to find something that would appeal to a niche interest when everyone's goal is to just get big. Of course, not everyone's goal is, but that's what I mean. This escape stuff of escaping from like a regular job, it really promotes people to try and do this. To try and just make something that follows the rules and try to escape it all. So that's why we have all this like very safe content nowadays. You have all this very safe rules, safe content. No one really wants to do anything unknown. It leads to a lot of the trend thing, like where people just talk about whatever is trending right now. Where it's I forget what they are, like the commentary people. Like so and so got into this situation, and then like 20 different people will all talk about it. They'll all make a 10-minute video and they'll all have like 80% of the same points in their video. Maybe there's some people who do say more unique things and maybe they are worth watching. Like, I'm not saying you're like a lesser person for watching them or anything, but I'm just saying it's part of the problem where there's nothing real out there, right? And then it's kind of led to video essays too. Not that I have a problem with video essays. I've watched a few video essays even, but the way they're made, I don't know how to describe it. There's no style to it anymore. You know what I mean? Like different YouTubers used to have kind of different styles. Like you could tell a JonTron video from a Peanut Butter Gamer video back in the day, right? And you could tell Peanut Butter Gamer video from an AVGN video, and those guys are still doing stuff now, but they're not doing it as often. And they're probably already in a good place. They probably don't need to nerf themselves in order to appeal to the algorithm now. I assume they're in a good place. But you even see like the people of today that did have good potential to be really different in the landscape, right? A lot of them will just get popular and then they'll take the easy route and become a streamer. They'll just play games and record themselves, talk, and that's what they'll do. They'll stop doing their regular content, and they'll just become streamers. And again, I gotta emphasize, I'm not knocking them for it. I'm just saying, like, objectively, it's just less interesting content. Like, I'm not even saying I wouldn't do that. I mean, I would try not to, but I'm not gonna lie, it looks pretty tempting. I mean, making a super thought out video or playing games for a few hours and getting a bunch of money, I mean, that's a pretty tempting offer, you know what I mean? So I can't blame anyone for taking it. But it's just another part of the problem where it's like there's nothing interesting, there's nothing niche anymore. If anyone steps too outside the lines, as they say, if they don't follow the rules to a T, they get suppressed or even banned off YouTube now. Because everyone, on top of like being safe, the people enforce it too. Like if you say something someone doesn't like, they'll just harass you now. They'll try to dox you or whatever. And it's just insane. Back in the day, people just used to argue, and I would even say the arguments were more fun. I'd say people having flame wars and arguing is more fun than what we do now. Because right now, when people are mad at each other, they try to like paint the other one as like a super duper evil bad guy who like burns down orphanages or whatever, all just because they didn't execute something the way someone else wanted to, or just because they had a different opinion that they think is for some reason morally bad to have or whatever. So there's not even any just like fun arguments where like, oh, this guy says this, he's dumb or whatever. You can't just have your arguments and take sides anymore. No, now it has to be a moral thing. And that's another thing that sucks, just the whole like moral adding onto it. It's turning every issue into a moral issue. And there have been some people who've tried to make different sites that cater to people who, don't follow these typical rules, but those are always just filled by political people. And as much as I might agree or disagree with them, it's just boring to have a whole site full of political stuff. So it's just not worth going to because, there's just nothing fun there. It's just all politics. Maybe I might try to go there and try to do something non-political, but the people that would go there, it's like a kind of an Ouroboros thing. No, it's like a paradox thing. Like, it's all political, so it's boring. But then if you try to go there and make something not political, the only people that are there are going to be there for the political stuff. So then you're not going to get anything either. And I guess you could dual post, like post on two sites at once, but barely anyone ever goes to the different site that's less popular. And like even Odyssey, you see Odyssey and YouTube, and Odyssey's got less political people, I want to say. I mean, it still has a good amount, but it's got like a good number of people who are doing just fun stuff too. But no one goes to Odyssey, like barely anyone. And yeah, so that's why we have what we have now, and I don't like it. I don't know what the solution is either. Nothing I could do. I'm sure about that. But yeah, I'm just so tired of all the slop, all the homogenous content that's too similar to each other. Maybe I'll go more in depth later because I do have more like in depth thoughts. I just can't really organize them right now. That's about it. Let me know what you think. If you think it's as bad as I say, or if maybe you think there's still a good amount of people filling in niches, or maybe you're filling in a niche. But yeah, just let me know what you think, and that's about it. Goodbye.